that how long would we go for this? Union is not a company. It doesn't have CEOs or shareholders. It's mandated by its members. We've been to our members. You've seen at Lonmin, the stadium was fully packed and the workers are still steadfast to their demand. We've been to Anglo, we've been to Impala. That's a price that we have to pay, this price of sacrifice if we want to change, because if we don't take a step, a bold step, to stop this inequality, that means even our children, when they come to this mine, will be still the slaves of these bosses.
AMCU's Joseph Matunja talking to us earlier today. Now, we hear tonight that South Africans are the heaviest alcohol drinkers on the continent, the 29th heaviest in the world. The World Health Organization releasing its 2014 report on alcohol and health. The report is based on per capita alcohol consumption, and these figures are taken, I understand, between 2008 and 2010. Let's give you a view on this and what we can do to those figures down. Industry Association for Responsible Alcohol Use's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Osborne Mahanjana. Welcome. Thank you very much for talking to us. I mean, effectively what this report is saying is that we are the drunkest country in Africa. That's nothing to be proud of.
Yeah, if you put it that way, there's nothing to be proud of, but you need to put these results into context. Because even if you read the same reports, it says that the more country develops, the more they consume more alcohol. If you compare South African results to the Europe, our results are far much better compared to Europe and other developed world. So you can make an assumption of saying that because South Africa is better developed compared to other African countries, so they are following the trend.
Which begs the question, why is there a correlation between increased development and drinking too much?
One other assumption could be that people now they tend to gain access to resources, and also they get to be more educated and informed in terms of drinking, and so that they know how to drink and know how to themselves. It doesn't necessarily translate that down they misuse or abuse alcohol later on.
Having said that, though, these figures would be better if they are lower. I mean, these are not figures to be proud of. What is the impact on our lives in terms of health and perhaps also on business and productivity?
Yeah. People who drink alcohol responsibly, the impact is actually good, but we know that people who misuse and abuse alcohol, they cause a significant harm to the economy. We know in terms of healthcare, justice, and police. So we need to isolate these results. First and foremost, to bring it to the viewers. Majority of South Africans, they don't drink, about 60%. And in those drink is between 30 and 40%. And in those, it's around about 10% who are doing all this harm. So our approach is saying that if we can increase awareness around these people who are doing harm, also deal with them decisively. For we were working with an organization called FAR, Fetal Alcohol Related Research, which have done significant impact around DR and around other areas in the Western Cape. We believe targeted interventions have got the best outcomes when we're dealing with.
Some of those other targeted interventions would increase tax on alcohol, perhaps raising the legal drinking age, regulating the alcohol market. Those are radical suggestions. Yes. Are they suggestions that your organization would support and endorse?
Yeah, our organization, it supports a balanced approach when it comes to policies, because remember there are always unintended consequences. Let's take for your tax one. For example, if you increase these taxes significantly, what tends to happen? The normal alcohol becomes unaffordable, and then illicit trade starts to generate. You could have seen what had happened in Kenya. 80 people died because drinking illicit alcohol, which they didn't know the content. The health hazard about that, and also then it beats the things that the government might not revenue from illicit trade if it raises taxes too much. So in any tax, it's almost there's unintended consequences. South Africa is having good laws at the moment around alcohol policies. For example, we've got that no one under the age of 18 can drink alcohol. Drinking and driving is controlled, that 0.055 grams per meal. If it exceeds, that gets arrested.
Would it help to raise the drinking age? In some states in the United States, for instance, it's 21.
I agree with you, but in South Africa, at the age of 18, you can get married, you can vote. And we know that even if you increase the age, there's this process of a forbidden fruit. So if I can't have it, then people will steal it. To me, I think it's a question of saying, educate people, enforce existing rules, and also enforce the traders. Don't forget that also there are illegal traders there who might be selling alcohol to the people who are there.
Should alcohol advertising be banned?
No.
Why not?
I think, to me, banning alcohol advertisement, you never achieve much in terms of dealing with misuse and abuse of alcohol. One consequence, one clear outcome that is going to come out of that, people are going to lose their job. There's going to be impact on the GDP. Sports bodies are going to lose sponsorship, and the media houses are going to lose money for sponsoring. I think, to me, as an industry, we can come to meet the government halfway to say that what is this part of advertisement is not desirable, and then to say that we need to sit down and talk about it. But a total ban has never been worked.
Well, it is certainly a contentious debate. From the Association for Responsible Alcohol Use, the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Osborne Mahanjana, thank you very much for talking to us. It's ENCA, just a little after 1:45. And these are our main stories. At least killed in 2 explosions in downtown Nairobi. The Public Protector Thuli Madonsela expressing shock at government's decision to fight her ENCA report in court. And the opposition candidate Narendra Modi races for a clear majority in India's general election. More on that now. Narendra Modi's pledged to work for the good of all Indians after his opposition party's resounding general election victory. Modi and his opposition Bharatiya Janata Party stormed to victory over the ruling Congress and were on course to become the first party in 3 decades to reach a single majority in the 543-member National Parliament. The Prime Minister-elect has already accepted an invitation from the Prime Minister David Cameron to visit Britain in the wake of his election win. Britain effectively froze all ties with Modi for 10 years over anti-Muslim violence in his home state. He was also boycotted by the US and European powers over the 2002 Gujarat riots